That we're grown-ups playing this and teaching this now to the next generation. Sometimes it feels like it was just yesterday that we were going down to Joe's house and learning this music, and time moves swiftly along. But it's kind of like it moves and it doesn't all at once. That's the weird thing about time, because we change, but we're also who we are this whole time. It's a very strange thing. And that's why our ancestors are always with us, because time is a construct. You know, this direction we're going to also goes backwards. We just only pretend that it only goes forwards. So a day like today, I think we're much more conscious about that backwards, idea of it. And also that Joe and Odell and that music didn't exist by itself. It existed in a larger context. And we're not just going to do Joe tunes. Maybe this is when we could do either a Little Cotton tune or Etta Baker tune.
Let's do Little Cotton.
Buffalo. All right. A lot of this is dance music, so I'm just saying.
That'll warm you up too. Y'all looking cold out there. Okay, so this is a tune by Little Cotton. Everybody knows who Little Cotton is, right? Oh! Hey, incorrect. Everybody knows who Little Cotton is, right? Okay. And if you don't know who Little Cotton is one of the greatest guitarists that the world has ever produced. And it was from Carborough, Chapel Hill. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Crowd.
You can't get a whoop for Scarborough here, like, I don't know.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, so if you don't know who Little Cotton is, you are going to go look up her music when you get in the car to leave here, okay? Was a contemporary of Joe's father, right? So a whole generation older than Joe, who was a banjo player, fabulous guitar player, incredible songwriter. And this is one of the ones that she played called Buffalo.
The beginning of much tuning during this set.
Mama sent me to store one day, told me not to stay. Fell in love with a pretty little girl, stayed till Christmas Day. Shoot that buffet, shoot that low, shoot that buffalo. Shoot that buffet, shoot that low, shoot that buffalo. Mama sent me to school one day, told me not to stay. Fell in love with a pretty little girl, stayed till Christmas Day. Shoot that buffet, shoot that low, shoot that buffalo. Shoot that buffet, shoot that low, shoot that buffalo.
We've got this has been it's been quite a experience in the last 20 years since we started playing with Joe and since we made this band. And we've been able to explore a lot of different kinds of music from this area and from the South in general, but we really focused a lot on North Carolina. And it was not, I don't know, what are we doing next?
Brown Street.
Okay. You talk.
Okay. So, speaking of North Carolina, we don't just, of course, we play lots of Joe's music and the music from here, but we also play music from other places. And this is one of those songs that is from another place, the mountains, which, if y'all don't know this by now, you will know it before you leave here. This is not mountain music. You're not in the mountains right now, are you? No, you're not. The music comes from, it was everywhere, but it's also from right here. Like, not some faraway place, not in some distant holler. It's just up the road.
The thing that we always have to be aware of is there's what happened and then what we were told happened. And they're not always the same thing. And often are not. For very specific reasons that we won't get into because I don't want to depress everybody. But one of those myths is that fiddle and banjo music was born in Appalachia, it lived in Appalachia, and it's going to stay in Appalachia. There is wonderful music from the mountains. And the Appalachian Range, by the way, is quite a long range of mountains. It's not just also in western North Carolina, Kentucky, and Tennessee, right? So, the music belongs to everybody, and it's regional differences everywhere you go. So it's a good opportunity to say that.
And this next tune we're going to play comes from the mountains.
Yes. Oh. No. We don't need to play double fiddle.
I learned this from a recording, maybe in real life, from one of my very favorite bands called the Roan Mountain Hilltoppers.
Old time music with guts. Thank you so much. Well, Justin and I, last year? Yeah. Last year, I got a wild hair to make a record in a particular kind of way. Justin and I were playing around some part of California. Was doing a thing, had invited him out to be a part of this thing, and we were just sitting there playing fiddle and banjo, and I was like, man, this is so good. We should make a record with just the two of us playing fiddle and banjo in the places that we learned this music. And so we went to 3 different places in North Carolina, and we recorded on location. Joe Bass, Joe DeJarnett, who's an amazing engineer, on location engineer of old time music, invited him out, and we spent 3 days, one in the west, one in the central, the Piedmont, and one more towards the east. And of course, obviously the Piedmont, we were at Joe's house, and that was amazing. And in the west, we were at Etta Baker's house. And Etta Baker's son was like so welcoming, and welcomed us in and talked about his mama, and it was a really beautiful moment. And so we recorded a tune of hers, or we learned from her version there at her home place, which is still just like she left it, just like she wandered out the door and never came back. Her hat's still on the rack. It's like we both walked in. There's a picture of us. We both walked in. We're like, it was like grandma's house, like literally. I think there's even plastic on the couch. So it was a real beautiful moment. So we're gonna play this number, and no, we're doing Marching Timber. Yeah, we can do Peace Behind the Bridge. And I think that we should bring up Justin Harrington. What just happened? Nothing. I saw Justin's face. I was like, oh God, something just broke. So 20 years ago at the Black Banjo Gathering, it wasn't just me and Justin and Dom who kind of got activated. This young man also got activated at the age of 6. Got his first pair of bones from Cliff Irvin, who was an African-American elder who made bones. And his first pair was a pair of bones that Cliff had made. And so that was the beginning of his journey, was also there. And yeah, so it's great. We're gonna do it. So this is double banjo, so we got to tune this. We got some tuning to do. Got a lot of banjos up here. We've been touring this summer. I convinced this man here, who I hadn't toured with for 14 years, to come back out on the road. And we had a 6-piece old-time band, and it was pretty amazing. And Justin was like, oh, I could do this. And I was like, yeah, if we could have had a bus when we were starting out, things might be different. No, I'm just kidding.
Much easier.
It's been really amazing to get to play music on the stages again. So.
Okay, pop quiz. What did that song make you feel when you heard it? Joy. Say it out loud. Cozy. Locked along. All those answers are nice, but they're wrong. What it made you feel was sweet potato biscuits with apple butter. That's the right answer.
All right. Well, what happened, it finally happened. I travel with two banjos sometimes, and then sometimes just one. And my usual banjo is a replica from 1858. It's the banjo I've written a lot of music on. It's my axe, as they say. And I got to the airport and realized I had brought the wrong banjo. And so I don't have that banjo, and it's kind of, it's in a different key and a different vibe. And so I said, Justin, do you still have your tack head banjo? Of course he has a tack head banjo, because he made this banjo in Jamaica. And so I thought, well, that's even better, actually. We're going to play this. I'm going to play this banjo. He's going to let me play his banjo, because this is the way they all were until the 30s, 40s, 50s, is that they were all handmade instruments. They were all made by someone. And even after that, people are still hand making banjos. So this is very quiet, so we're going to need as much juice as possible. Maybe not. Anyway, so I have taken it upon myself to study early banjo music. It is our early music. Instead of harpsichords, we had early banjo. It's just, the problem is that we don't really talk about it because it is unfortunately hand in glove with blackface minstrelsy. I know I'm that girl. That's the one you back away from at the party. On Friday night, you got your glass of wine, and you're like, oh no, here she comes. She's gonna talk about slavery, or the banjo, or both. And I'm like, I know, that's my job. That's my job. I might dip you down, but we'll end up at the top, I promise. Because you gotta look into it, and it's hard and it's tough, but that's where the beauty is at. We can't let that get swept away because of the horribleness that was blackface minstrelsy. That music is actually coming out of cross-cultural collaborative efforts by a lot of poor people who are living cheek by jowl. And in that is the music also of the ancestors, if you find that music. And so these banjo tutors, I don't know, I've learned a lot from them. And so this tune is from the 1790s. It was printed in the late 1700s in a collection in Scotland, and it was called Pompey Ran Away. Now Pompey, it was a common name for an enslaved man, and it was listed in this collection of otherwise Scottish and Irish jigs and reels as a Virginia Negro jig. And there's something that's really compelling about this piece. It was beautiful. It's like short, rhythmic, kind of hypnotic phrases that kind of really made me think maybe there's something to this. And then I played it for a friend of mine who's from Congo. His name is Niwel Tsumbu, and he said, that reminds me of a song from when I was a kid. And so he sang me the song, and I about fell out on the floor. And I said, Niwel, what does that mean? Because he sang it to me in Lingala, which is one of the languages of Congo. And he said, my mother told me not to go outside, and now my friends have sold me to strangers. Because I am beautiful, because I am strong. So if I had not dared to dig into this material, I would have never had this moment of connection back across the ocean. So now I do these together. So it's called Pipidanga, which is a name of a person. So yeah, we're just gonna do it. Can you hear this?
Yep.
Great.
Not well enough.
Okay.
Make it louder.
We're gonna make it louder.
Still just the microphone. That microphone.
It's all right. It's all good.
All right, let's do it right to your face.
How's that? Pipidanga, pipidanga, mama lopate, pipidanga, 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 mama lopate, pipidanga, kaina pimate, pipidanga, naingalinga, pipidanga, napakisinga, pipidanga, namaboko babaya, pipidanga, monaza kitoko, pipidanga, monaza makasi, pipidanga. Pipidanga, pipidanga, mama lopake, pipidanga, 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 mama lopake, pipidanga, gaina pimate, pipidanga, maninga ninga, pipidanga, maninga ninga, pipidanga, namaba babaya, pipidanga, bonaza kitoko, pipidanga, bonaza makasi, pipidanga. Thank you so much. I'm having a really amazing time introducing some of these old American tunes to different African musicians. Also worked with the kora player, Meseku Keita, and like just mind-blowing stuff. So I'm really, it's kind of a beginning of a project, and you know, watch this space. So just before we get back to the North Carolina stuff, just wanted to play a couple of those early banjo tunes that I mentioned. From the 1850s, and we're gonna get some Bones action on there.
Banjo auntie and Bones nephew?
That's right. Is that the one? Is it this one?
We can do whatever.
Okay.
Up tempo is better.
Okay. Oh Lord. Okay. Demeanor, Justin Harrington. Bones and banjo. Whew. See, that stuff is worth saving, digging out, and detaching. The detaching from the racism that has made it so hard to access, you know? There's lots of different ways of doing this. So I think we're gonna play some Joe tunes now. High bass, right? No? High bass, yeah, some high bass tunes. How y'all doing out there? You staying warm? So as I think somebody mentioned before, the idea of keys is very different. We're doing high bass at the moment. Yeah, all right, yeah.
No more?
The idea of keys is kind of a Western imposition. People played their instruments in tune with itself, and there are a lot of different tunings. Sometimes the tunings are named after the songs, or vice versa. And the idea of even this fifth string here, you notice that it makes you play. You can't change keys all the time because it's a drone, and the drone is always going to be in the same note. And that's what gives you a little bit of that trance, you know? And so you would tune the instrument to a key, but what key it was didn't have a Western name. You know what I mean? Like, it was just the key of the song. And so then you come in with, well, is it a G or C or D or what is it? You know, and so for Joe, it was high bass and low bass. It was just how you tuned the instrument. What are we playing? Looking high. Going downtown? Yeah.
We'll play one of my favorite Joe pieces that we recorded on this last album, called "Going Downtown." I just thought it was so beautiful, and there's something kind of what's the word, melancholy about the song. Like, which I like. Most of Joe's songs are not like that. Way up on the mountain, way up on the mountain, way up on the mountain where the eagle bill is nest. Way up on the mountain, way up on the mountain, way up on the mountain, I ain't coming back no more. This is the title track of the festival, Hooking and Line. Okay, now Joe Thompson and the Thompson whole family, Thompson family clan were square dance musicians. That's because what people were doing around here and many other places was dancing square dances. So this one is the square danciest of them all. Are you ready? Okay. This one's called Pumpkin Pie, and if you're not around here, you're not gonna hear nobody else play it. Okay?
I'd sit down for this one.
That's old time music.
All right, now this is I don't know. I always like to thank you. I'm gonna stay seated because you learn why people don't play for dances standing up. I mean, you can, but that's okay. Yeah. For me, I feel better seated when I'm playing dance music because there's something about being grounded in it, especially for the banjo. I don't know. It's just sitting on the legs. It feels better to me. Anyway, what the heck was I about to say? Dang, there was a point I was about to make, and I got distracted. Oh. So I like to say in my life I was very lucky to have 2 different trainings because there's a lot of talk about the academization of some of this kind of music recently, and I had 2 different trainings. I trained as an opera singer in a conservatory, and I learned how to read music. I didn't know how to read music when I went. I learned because it has given me access to things that I wouldn't have, and I wanted to have that access. And then I got a whole second training with Joe Thompson. And they're 2 very different trainings, but I hold them up as equal in my life. So the training we got with Joe was an apprenticeship. And it's part of the old artisan system that used to be how this country and actually lots of other places used to be like hundreds of years ago, where you would apprentice with somebody and then you would have a trade and you would go off and you had that after your period of apprenticeship. Well, obviously, this is a little bit different because this wasn't, it became Joe's trade, but obviously he did other things and was a community musician, but the apprenticeship model still counts. And that's how we learn. We would go sit with Joe, and he would just play. There was no sheets. There was no chalkboard. There was no, here, record this. We didn't record nothing. Not one time did we record anything when we played. We didn't even think about it. We just went and played with him, and if we got it right, he kept playing. That's it. If it wasn't smoking, if it wasn't hitting, he would just stop. And he would go, boys, I reckon we're going a little fast. Or, boys, it was always boys, I reckon we're going a little slow. That was it. We had to figure it out. Right? He was giving us as much as he needed to give us by being himself and playing and giving us all the time and himself. We had to figure it out. We had to figure out how do I do this? And so the responsibility lay on us in terms of figuring out how that fit in our fingers and our minds and our bodies. And so it was a really beautiful way to learn music, and it has shaped everything that I've done since then. And I know Justin feels the same. And so the only thing about that is that you have to be a part of a system. You have to be a part of a chain. You can't just receive. You have to pass that on, right? So we both have apprentices. So one's joined, where's the other?
This is the latest link in the Joe Thompson thing.
Yeah, and this what this is about. This is what it's about, It's about, it's performing and putting it out there, but it's also this, So this is, we're delighted to have this. Have these 2 young men, these chocolate chips. Yes. Yeah. Sedona. Okay.
Okay. Well, we have reached the point in which we play, which I think is the holy grail of square dance music, of Joe's music.
Now, what's that, Justin?
It's a little tune that has gone all kinds of places. Okay. So, if you've been alive, yes, if you've been alive, you may have heard of a little opera called Omar. Yeah. So, Old Corn Liquor. So, first of all, the opera was written by, and also it won a little prize that you may have heard of, called the Pulitzer Prize. You may have heard of that prize. Opera won that prize. And inside of the opera is a little old tune you may have heard of called Old Corn Liquor. Hey, more applause. Okay, I'm not even done. The second thing, have you ever heard of a movie called Sinners? Yeah, one of the hottest movies of this past year. Also had a little old tune in it called Old Corn Liquor. So how many tunes do you know that are in a best-selling vampire movie and a Pulitzer prize-winning opera? When I say it's the holy grail of Joe Thompson square dance tunes, I mean that. So if you ain't gonna get up and dance, don't you stop nobody else from doing it.
Also, one of my highest Spotify streaming songs. Oh, Corn Liquor. Who knew? So basically, we getting Joe wherever we can. I think they took that recording we made
Off of the
sitting in front of the library in Chapel Hill. Wilson Library. We recorded Old Corn Liquor, banjo and fiddle, to send them to show them what the tune sounded like, and they used that iPhone recording in the movie. It's crazy. All right. Oh, is that me? right. Well, I think it's just time for one more.
The last one?
And, oh man. Last one today. We will continue to play music in our lives. And hopefully you will too. Because the whole thing about this, right, is that this is lovely. We enjoy performing and we enjoy, like, you know, playing, even communally we're playing up here, right? And you guys are listening and we're having this moment where we're all kind of sharing this space. But don't forget, and I know a lot of you out there do play, but don't forget that this too can be yours. Not my particular banjo, please don't take it. But this music is for everyone. And the whole point of it is that we make it together. That's the whole point of not having to go learn it in a classroom. Because, not saying that I'm not, you know, making any statements. I'm just saying we don't, like, this is also part of the music, is that it is meant to be passed from person to person. You can catch it. You know, it's catchy, it's for dancing, it's for singing, it's for spiritual, you know, like saving us, you know, and it's meant to be passed from person to person. I believe that. And it's not everything that's meant for that, but this music, I think, is really at its best when it is human to human. So I picked up the banjo and the fiddle when I was in my 20s. It's never too late to pick up an instrument. It's never too late to sing. So we're all musicians and we're all singers, and not all of us need to be doing this for a career, right? It needs to be a part of everybody's life. So that's my soapbox. I said it. I would love to be out of a job. I would love, there's so many people making their own music that they didn't ever want to come to my concert. I'd be cool with that. So we're going to do, what's going on? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So we're going to do one that, thinking about having everybody sing, we're going to do Lights in the Valley. And we sang it, we did it earlier if you were at the statue unveiling, but we're going to do it now expecting that everyone's going to sing. Yeah. Y'all look nervous. What's going on? It's going to be great. Yeah, we can teach it in case people don't know it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Lights in the valley, outshine the sun. That's your part. Lights in the valley, outshine the sun. Lights in the valley, outshine the sun. Way beyond the blue.
That's all together. That's it. Like I said, music's meant to be caught quickly. Thank y'all for having us. Thanks for this amazing festival. Long may it continue. I'm gonna say, I know it's a difficult time right now, and the only solution really, for as far as I see it, is go local. Know your neighbors. Let's bring it in and take care of each other, because that's really where we are the best. in the valley. Outside the sun. Lights in the valley. Outside the sun. Way beyond the blue. One more time, and it's lights in the valley. Outside the sun. Lights in the valley. Outside the sun. Lights in the valley. Outside the sun. Way beyond the blue. Take that last part. Way beyond the blue. One more time, and it's way beyond the blue. Thank you so much.
What do we know? What did we learn? What did we learn?
Music's for everyone.
What did we learn?
Am I on camera?
Hey, you know the best way that you can send
I guess
them? They're
fiddle
gonna
and
hop.
banjo
They
music
got
isn't so
planes
bad.
and cars to catch, but
You know, what
one
you
more
learn?
time, lights
I
in the
can't
valley.
tap dance.
Come on, let them hear
I should tap
while
dance.
they're driving away.